Texas basketball ends their season in disappointment. Texas baseball prepares for a long road trip. And what the heck is going on with this guy, Lamar Jackson? All of this and more coming up on College Crossfire.
Coming back to that 2021 MVP. He's better than Josh Allen. He's better than Baker Mayfield. He's not better than Mahomes. I can't say that. What?
You miss a kick, you get kicked.
You know, bag of money or whatever, some food inside of them. No, that is a great answer. How dare you? Oh, man.
All right, good evening and welcome into College Crossfire, the best collegiate sports debate show on the planet. And if you're thinking, hey, that guy in the intro, that guy Tommy Yaris looks a little different tonight, don't adjust your stream because I'm actually your replacement host, Jordan Geelhoed. Normally I'm back there in master control, right? But Tommy had some prior engagements, so now I'm here with y'all in the host chair. But don't worry, Tommy will be back next week. In the meantime, I'll try and do half as good a job as he normally does. All right, but that's enough about me. Let's get to y'all panelists here, okay? On first base, our returning champion is back again to defend his crown, Justin Goosman. How are you today?
Doing great. Ready to be back here, ready to defend my title. Still passing around the mic. Got to get these mics figured out, but it's good to be here, Jordan.
That's right. TSTV, what's going on with the mic budget? I thought we had this already like weeks ago. All right, whatever. All right, if you want to go and pass the mic on to second base, making his first appearance on Crossfire, someone who I'm sure will crush it, it is Alec Alvarez. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Appreciate you guys inviting me on. Honored to be here with you guys. You know, all mics working, no mics working, just this one doesn't matter. I'm here. I'm ready. Let's get it.
I love the confidence. I love the preparation. And on third base, last but not least, also I believe making his Crossfire debut.
That is correct.
It is TJ Krilowicz. What's up?
Yes, I'm doing good. I could be doing a little bit better though. The Sixers are beating my Mavs, but it's all right, man. Prepped myself with J2 before this, so I'm ready to go.
Oh, J2, yeah, the meal of champions. All right, such a pleasure to have you all here. Flow brothers, man, going with the flow. I have the shortest hair here somehow, which is crazy, but whatever. Let's get started. Things were looking pretty good for Texas men's basketball against Xavier in the Sweet 16. However, it all came to a tragic end at the hands of the Miami Hurricanes in the Elite Eight. Texas was sent home packing after an 88-81 loss. However, the loss seemed perplexing to some as Texas seemed to have a pretty commanding lead for most of this game. So, contestants, break it down for us. What went wrong for Texas in this game? Justin, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think it comes down to three things. I think the first is obviously the free throws. Everybody's been talking about the fouls that happened late in the Texas versus Miami game. Miami obviously shot 27 free throws in the second half. It felt like every single possession towards the end of the game, they were getting to the line at ease. And when that happens, there's just not much that you can do on the other end to try and get yourself out of that funk. When you're fouling a lot, it's really difficult to try and figure out the defense. What are the refs calling, you know? And the second thing, I think, is Dylan Dessou's absence. Not having his versatility both on offense and defense really hurt Texas because Miami's guards were able to get inside late in the game and, again, draw those fouls. And two, on offense, he wasn't able to exploit any mismatches down low, and so they had to go to guys like Brock Cunningham and small ball lineups, which just didn't really work against Miami. Last but not least, I think it came down to the final foul from Marcus Carr. There's a 12-second shot clock differential where Texas could have gotten the ball back down two with plenty of time to work, but instead they didn't rely on the defense that had gotten them to this point this season and decided to foul, and they just couldn't get back in the game.
Yeah, all great points. I think Dessou was a huge loss. As you can see, Miami was kind of picking on Christian Bishop and Brock Cunningham down low. I think that his presence, or his lack of presence, was really felt. Alec?
Yeah, no, all great points by you guys. My brother with the flow here, Jay Jettas, Justin, you know, he's hitting us with it. I honestly had some similar takes. So, obviously, Dylan Dessou was a big reason why we got as far as we did. So, his absence was just, like, devastating, right? You got fifth leading scorer for Texas, second leading rebounder, you know, number one shot blocker for our team, second in the Big 12, right? We missed him on the interior. Miami shot almost 70% from two-point range, 50% overall. I mean, you add in that Jordan Miller has like a Christian Laettner-esque game, just doesn't miss anything, just laser focused, just 7 for 7 from the field, 13 for 13 from the line. I mean, that's just absurd, right? And then we're up by 13, and you factor in all these things, right? And then the second half, we kind of just start fading. We start collapsing, and it kind of gets to us, and again, the foul situation late in the clock. We could have relied on the defense there, and it's just we never could get back into it. Just really an unfortunate way to end the season, considering the epic weekend we were having, and it's just tough. Rodney Terry, the way he leads his team after what could have gone downhill so quickly after the Beard situation, it's just unfortunate way to end the season, but super proud of him, and it was awesome to see.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, but it was a good game overall. It was just, as you said, those Miami guards, they just couldn't miss. Jordan Miller had, 30, something like that? He was straight cash. TJ? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to break it down into three things. The first thing I want to say is that the refs, they were very inconsistent with the calls. Starting in the second half, they started calling everything, and it just kind of ruined up the whole flow of the game. But I'm not going to blame the refs. I have more morality than that. So I'm going to go with my second option as well, is that this team just got a little too cocky. They were up 13 with about 11 minutes left, and Tyrese Hunter shot a 30-footer, and it was just an awful shot. He clanked it right off the rim. And I remember telling my buddies when I was watching it, I was like, yeah, we can't get too cocky, man. This game is not over yet. This game is not over. And, of course, everything went downhill after that. And you could see the cockiness in the team every now and then. You see them, getting the crowd hyped and all that stuff. And it kind of bit them, especially in the Penn State game, but they were able to regroup, and then they weren't able to against Miami. And another thing is that Marcus Carr, love the guy, but he was not 100%. And when he was the primary defender of the Miami guards every single possession in the second half, it was a tough time. They didn't adjust in time for Marcus Carr. He was getting destroyed, and it was just tough to watch it. We needed more help on the team. So yeah.
Yeah, I know it's easy to blame the refs, and the validity of that argument is a question for another day. But I'm glad that you had other arguments as well to back it up. So for that, TJ, I'm going to give you the 3, Justin the 2, and Alec the 1 for now. But don't worry, we still got a lot of time left. It's not all doom and gloom for Texas basketball, as Rodney Terry was officially named head coach of the team for the next 5 years after his impressive run as interim coach to round out this season. It was a move that many saw coming and many celebrated. So Terry is returning, as are a few key players, but there are also several players departing, such as Marcus Carr and Timmy Allen. With all this reshuffling, what are your expectations for this Texas team next season? Alec, you're going to start on this one.
Yeah, no, beautifully articulated question, man. I couldn't be more excited to see Texas retain Rodney Terry. You can't find a single person in that Texas fan base that wasn't a fan and huge supporter of Terry. The way, as I alluded to in the previous segment, it was essentially, after the Chris Beard situation, the season could have gone downhill so quickly, right? If you don't have the right guy in that locker room, the right leader in that locker room to really corral everyone and have them maintain composure and think long term, like, hey, guys, we still have the same amount of talent in this room as we did yesterday. It's just that instead of Beard being head coach, I'm the new guy in charge. You guys believe in me. And I mean, that level of chemistry between a coach and players, you never see that. They're like dancing salsa in the locker room, Timmy and coach. And it was just an insane level of chemistry, and you couldn't help but root for them, whether you were a Texas fan or not. The way those guys were resilient the day of the Beard arrest all the way to making that elite run and being a couple mistakes away from going to the Final Four in their home state. I mean, Rodney Terry's the guy. He's got the swag. He's got the cool glasses. He got the moves. And he obviously has the basketball intelligence as we saw through this run. So I'm hyped, man. I expect them to be in the mix for years to come.
Awesome. Yeah, great point. As you said, I think that the Beard situation, for a lot of teams, that would have just sent them flying off the rails. But props to Rodney Terry for keeping it together after that. TJ?
Yeah, I definitely really like the Rodney Terry signing. Obviously, if you're a Texas fan and you don't like the Rodney Terry signing, you're not a Texas fan. So with my expectations for next season, I think it's going to be another Elite Eight run. I think so. I'm fully confident in this team. We have Ron Holland and A.J. Johnson coming in. They're both great five-star recruits. I also think that Tyrese Hunter takes a big step next season. We've seen it. He scored 26 against Gonzaga. He kind of went off the grid after that game for a little bit, but we we can see that he has potential to become that scoring guard. With Sir-Jabari Rice and Marcus Carr both graduating, it's going to be, we need some more scoring from the guards. Tyrese Hunter is going to be that guy that we're going to look to. Arturo Morris is another person, but I fully expect them to go for an Elite Eight run. I think that they have the talent to do that again next year.
Bold claim, but one that is not without support, as I agree. I think that the transfers coming in as well as the talent that Texas is retaining on the team should be good.
Yeah, my expectations, I think it's going to be a little bit, Texas isn't going to be as good as they were this past season, next season. They're going to have good recruits. They're going to have some talent on the team. But again, it's going to be a totally new team. They're going to be built around younger guys, depending on if Dylan Mitchell stays. They talked about Ron Holland, A.J. Johnson joining the group. If Tyrese Hunter decides to go pro or if he decides to come back, that's going to be a big factor. And then Dylan Dessou has another year of eligibility. So it kind of depends on who decides to stay, who decides to go. If a lot of those guys decide to stay, I think Texas is right in the mix for another Big 12 championship. If some of those guys decide to transfer or go pro, I think Texas is probably in the middle of the Big 12, maybe looking at a 5 or a 6 seed come NCAA tournament time, which still allows you the chance to go on a deep playoff or deep NCAA tournament run, but they're not going to be as good as they were this past season, next season. It's just you losing too much experience.
I think you make a good point there in that, yeah, we don't really know what this team is really going to look like come next season. There's a lot of players that still have decisions to make. And so for that reason, I'm going to give you the 3. Alec, you're going to get the 2 on this one. TJ, the 1. On to question 3. Texas baseball took advantage of their longest homestead in over 20 years, playing 14 straight games at the Dish Falk Field and going 14-0 in said games. This week, they're finally hitting the road, and it started well with a win against Texas A&M yesterday. By the way, their first since 2018. Good job, little brother. But how do you think the baseball team can keep their winning momentum rolling during away matchups in Oklahoma State this weekend and beyond? TJ, we're going to start with you.
Yeah, first of all, that win against Texas A&M is just an absolute beauty. Thank goodness they won that in Olsen Park. My goodness. I was going to be so sad if they lost, but thank goodness they won. Okay, so what they've been doing really well in this 15-game win streak is offense. Obviously, the pitching has been great. You need both pitching and offense to go on a 15-game winning streak. But the offense has been great. I looked into the 15 games, and in every game, they've been out-hitting the other team. And in a lot of those games, they've been hitting at least 10 hits in a game. And if you get more than a hit per an inning, you're doing really good. So I think if they just keep swinging the ball aggressively, they're getting on base a lot of the times. It's not just home runs. They're not hitting a lot of home runs. It's a lot of singles, doubles, triples, getting people on base, getting the team rowdy, and it's counting in the runs.
I agree. Reminds me of the quote from Moneyball. What does he say? He gets on base? That's right.
Gets on base.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it in a while. So.
Oh, okay. That's the thing, yeah. Justin?
Yeah, I got to agree. It's definitely been the offense. Throughout the 15 games, they've only scored under 5 runs in one game, and they were still able to find a way to win that game. So if you can find ways to win the games where you're not scoring a lot of runs, that's great. And they've been able to do that. They've been hitting the ball beautifully. But second, it's got to be the transfers. Guys like Porter Brown, Garrett Guillemette, and Charlie Hurley have had outstanding stretches throughout the 15 games. And if Texas wants to keep it going, they're going to have to rely on some of those transfers to continue to swing the bat really well, continue to get on base, continue to bring runs in.
Yeah, I think Porter Brown, huge addition to this team, and he's been paying off. He's slugging out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Alec?
Yeah, I'm going to keep it real simple here. I'm Puerto Rican, so I got the baseball in my blood. I'm Mexican, too. They made a deep run in the World Baseball Classic, but I'm going to keep it real simple here. Offense is going brazy. Just huge dubs against A&M, that was massive. Tech, they made that like Texas Tech logo with the T within the T. They put an L within the L. Just awesome stuff from here. They just got to keep up the positive momentum, keep it going.
I agree, yeah. I like the Puerto Rican and Mexican. It really brings validity to your argument. Yeah. No, I think so. But no, I like your idea that you just got to keep going. Keep that momentum up. They're doing good now. So for that reason, I'm going to give you the 3. TJ, you're going to get the 2, and Justin, you are going to get the 1. All right, we're 3 questions in, and it's close, but there's still a lot of action left to go with this next set of questions coming up. So don't go anywhere. College Crossfire will be right back. Welcome back into College Crossfire. Quick score update if you're just joining us. It is actually a three-way tie right now. Justin, Alec, and TJ all have 6 points, so it's really anybody's game. All right, let's kick off our second block with this now. After shocking and eventful Sweet 16s and Elite 8s this past weekend, both the men's and women's Final Fours are set in stone. Men's being FAU, UConn, Miami, and San Diego State, and the women's being South Carolina, Iowa, Virginia Tech, and LSU. This question is simple, contestants. Who do you have winning both tournaments and why? We're going to start on the other side with TJ.
Yeah, for the men's side, I'm actually going to go with FAU. I think we need to take a closer look at Conference USA, by the way. FAU's in the Final Four. We got UNT and UAB, both University of Alabama, Birmingham, both in the NIT Finals, all three from Conference USA, so that's pretty impressive. I think I'm going with FAU. I think UConn's good, but look at this. I have UConn beating Miami to go to the finals against FAU. UConn has not had a close game in this tournament, and they're not going to get through this tournament without a close game, okay? And since FAU has played a lot of close games, they've came out on all of them, I think FAU can beat UConn in a situation like that. I'm going full on FAU. For the women's side, I'm going with not a surprising answer. I'm going with South Carolina. It's pretty simple. Haven't lost a game. I know Caitlin Clark is just absolutely phenomenal. She had like a 40-point triple-double last game. Unbelievable stuff. But you can't, you need more than one person to beat the Alabama of women's basketball, and that's South Carolina, unfortunately. I'm going to have LSU beating Virginia Tech to go into the finals, but then I'm going to have South Carolina beat LSU because they beat them by 24 in the regular season. I don't have much faith in LSU. But those are my two answers, yeah.
Okay, interesting answers. One favorite and then one crazy upset with FAU.
Going with the mid-major.
I could see it, but
Going with the mid-major, man.
I like the mid-major love, though. I like the Conference USA love. All right, Alec?
My boy TJ, it's nice to dream. It's nice to root for the underdogs, but I don't know what you're on, bro. But you got to give me some of that FAU. They're not taking it as much as I'd love to see that. I love rooting for the underdogs. So I'll start with the men's while we're on it. So I think the winner of the tournament is definitely going to come out of the UConn-Miami game. Undoubtedly, you know, those two teams have been hot all tournament. Miami beat a 1 and a 2 and a 4. I mean, come on now. And then UConn has won their games. Their point differential in the tournament is 90. They've won their games by an average of 23.5 points. So just absurd dominance. UConn is, I've got them winning it all. I've got them beating FAU. I've got FAU going to the final at least. As much as I want to see FAU continue what they've done, they're a team that just epitomizes grind, as does San Diego State. Just they've really grinded out some victories. I got UConn over FAU on the women's side. Contrary to you again, TJ. South Carolina comes in one of the heaviest favorites the women's tournament has ever seen. Rightfully so. I think they set like a sports betting record on the spread in their first game, just like an absurd spread. Anyways, every once in a while, every generation, there comes this generational talent that is just an unstoppable force. We honestly haven't seen one of this caliber in a decade since Brittany Griner was just decimating teams at Baylor. And she was stopped on her final run, but that was just like a master class in how to stop Brittany Griner. But the point is, Caitlin Clark is going to come out. She might put on 2 more 40-point triple-doubles. I mean, 41, 12, and 10. Who does that in a game like that when they were down 7-0 to start the game? She's going to come out. I think she's going to put the team on her back this weekend, and I think that she's going to lead them to victory.
Absolutely. Interesting strategy going against everything TJ said, but I think that all of your picks have merit as well. Caitlin Clark, just an absolute superstar. Must-see TV. Watch the 2 Iowa games, well, maybe 2 Iowa games left. At least one more Iowa game left, because you got to see Caitlin Clark.
You know, I got to say, the last couple days I've been flip-flopping on who I think is going to win in the men's bracket. And today I came to the verdict of San Diego State. Now, if you go off of what I predicted last week in the Final Four, don't pick anything that I'm picking. All of my Final Four picks, none of them made it. So don't. I'm not some expert here, but I'm going with San Diego State because they're the best defense in college basketball. FAU has not played a defense like San Diego State all season, and I actually agree with TJ. I think UConn beats Miami when they play UConn in the national championship, and San Diego State's defense puts UConn in a bind, and it's a 5-point game down in the stretch where San Diego State has been in those games time and time again throughout the tournament. I think they pull it out in the end. So I'm going with the Aztecs of San Diego State as your men's championship winner. And then in the women's bracket, I got to go with South Carolina. Caitlin Clark is the most fun player to watch in all of sports right now, but South Carolina is just simply too good. I don't see anybody slowing them down, whether it's LSU, Virginia Tech. I don't think it matters. South Carolina is simply too good. They're going to roll through both teams.
Yeah, I still appreciate the mid-major love, even though it's not quite FAU, but Mountain West, pretty good too.
Absolutely.
But, Alec, I'm going to give you the 3 on this one. I think that your answers were great. Justin, the 2. TJ, love the boldness. Love the boldness.
FAU pick.
But I have to give you the 1. I'm sorry.
I respect that.
Hopefully.
Really want to. I just
Prove
can't.
me wrong. Oh, okay. This question is going to ruin me. I have to take the jersey off the wall for this one. Tread carefully with these answers, guys, because I'm still very sensitive about this topic. To my complete and utter dismay, as a Baltimore Ravens fan, things have turned sour in the relationship between the Ravens and their star quarterback, Lamar Jackson, as Jackson tweeted on Monday that he has requested a trade from the team. Now that Lamar is potentially on the market, you'd think that he would drum up a lot of interest among teams that could use young, former MVP, clean sheet QB, but that doesn't really seem to be the case so far. This whole saga is very long and confusing, and it's causing me a lot of anguish as a fan. But to keep me from spinning off the rails, let me just ask you this question. Where do you think Lamar Jackson ends up next season, and why? Justin, we'll start with you.
I think he's going to end up on his couch for a lot of the season. Look, when you look at the Lamar Jackson situation, you have teams that don't have a quarterback and that are not contenders, who don't want to give up a lot of assets for Lamar Jackson and then get in a terrible contract situation. So teams that are bad right now don't want to get Lamar Jackson because you can't build around him. Teams that are really good also don't want to give that up because, again, you're going to have to give up a ton of assets and then pay him a ton of money, which means that all of what you've built to make a championship team goes out the drain for an all-star quarterback. So it's kind of just a preference thing. And right now the league doesn't seem to be going in a direction where they want to give up everything they've built for a quarterback like Lamar, which leads me to believe that the Ravens and Lamar will not get a contract done, nor will they agree on a trade, and Lamar will end up holding out for most, if not all, of this season. I think Lamar ends up on his couch. I don't see him playing football in 2023, 2024.
Really? Wow. I would be so sad if that happened. I would rather him play for another team than not play at all. That's crazy. But I think that there is validity to your argument. I think that if teams have already said that they're not interested, like, what's to, stop them from, not signing him at all? I don't know. All right, Alec?
That's going to be hard to follow up. He's going to end up on his couch. That's where I'm trying to end up. It's been a long day. In the words of Shannon Sharp, you are only worth as much as someone is willing to pay you. By the way, I got to get that mean cardigan he was wearing when he almost fought TJ Morant. Anyways, this is my realistic answer. Lamar is going to play come the start of the season with the Ravens. It has to get done with the Ravens. Right now, it's just a very nasty contract dispute. He's negotiating on his own. He doesn't have an agent, except there's rumors of, whatever. But anyways, the point is, I believe the realistic answer is that they're going to get a deal done no matter what because, to your point, it's just the situation is like the current NFL, the model is you have that championship window when you put great assets around your rookie quarterback on a cheap rookie deal that's very team-friendly. Look at Jalen Hurts and the Eagles going to the Super Bowl last year. Look at Mahomes early in his career. Now he's got that massive deal. As we've seen, I'm a Cowboys fan. Dak, massive deal. Makes it harder on the front office to put a great team around you when you have that hard salary cap, unlike the NBA with the soft cap. My fun answer is us Cowboys fans are tired of Dak. You know what? Dak's arm is not much better than Lamar Jackson's, even if it is. And his legs for sure aren't better. Get Dak out of here. Bring in Lamar. We let Zeke go. We shed some money. The Zeke and Dak era's over. It's time to move on. Let's get Bijan Robinson. Let's go crazy. Let's shake this thing up. We got Agent Zero. Michael Parsons is changing his number. Let's blow this thing up.
Wow, okay. Well, I love the first part of your answer when you said Lamar's going to stay. Second part of your answer, I don't know, that might be the delusional Cowboys fan talking.
What do you mean, man?
Yeah,
That's
I know
not
we got two
delusional.
Cowboys fans up on the panel, so.
Hey, Lamar definitely has a better arm than Dak.
All right, TJ.
So I agree with you on the contract thing. Daniel Jones just got $40 million, and you're telling me Lamar Jackson can't get like 45. It's just crazy. Daniel Jones is now worth $40 million. But since both of y'all said that Lamar Jackson's not going to be on another team, I'll go ahead and say that I'll go ahead and pick another team. I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts. This is the best time for the Colts to buy in completely. Their division is relatively weak. Their division winner last year was what, 8 and 9, something like that for the Jaguars. So I can see the Colts making a run here. They already have an all-star running or Pro Bowl running back, Jonathan Taylor. You have Michael Pittman Jr. It's not the best wide receiver core, but we've seen what Lamar Jackson can do with bad wide receiver cores. He's been doing it for years now. So, I mean, it would be a great combination for the Colts, Lamar Jackson, Jonathan Taylor. They have the 4th overall pick, too, so they can get this deal done if they want to. I think it could be the Colts.
Yeah, and I think that the Colts have expressed the most, I mean, not quite interest, but the least amount of, like, you know, declining. Like Jim Irsay and Chris Ballard, they seem like, you know, they're like, maybe we can do something, you know, we'll look into it. So for that reason, I'm going to give you the 3. I really hope that he stays, but Alec, I'm going to give you the 2, and Justin, holding out. What are you doing, man? You see the jersey in my lap?
On his couch.
Come on.
Bias.
No,
Bias,
no.
folks.
Oh, wait.
Bias.
Don't spread that rumor. Don't spread that rumor. But you're getting the 1 anyway. All right. Still a lot of show left. Through 2 sets of questions, and at the top of the board is, let me do some quick addition. Oh, it's Alec. Alec is at the top of the board with 11. TJ right behind him with 10. Justin, you're right behind him with 9. So it's still anybody's game. Please do not go anywhere because this next round could change all that. Rapid fire round is next on College Crossfire. Welcome back into College Crossfire. It is time for the last 3 questions of the night for us here, and you know what that means. It's the rapid fire round, where the points are worth double, so it's anyone's game. If you're new to the show, Rapid Fire is our 3rd and final segment where our contestants will have to answer 3 questions, just like they have in the last 2 rounds, but this time they have no idea what I'll be asking. Everything is off the dome. They say defense wins championships, but that's just not true. It's Rapid Fire that wins championships. So let's find out who tonight's champion will be. All right, here we go. Question 1. The McDonald's All-American game happened in Houston this past week, and the kid garnering all the attention was, of course, Bronny James, who, as everyone knows, is the son of LeBron James. Bronny's status as a player has yet to be seen, but there are a lot of children of famous athletes recently who have been able to prove that they have talent beyond just who their parents are. So, contestants, who do you think is the best child of a former athlete in sports right now? Anyone can jump in.
I'll start it off. In my mind, without a question, the best athlete of a former pro athlete is Patrick Mahomes right now. His father was a pitcher at the MLB level. Just a strong arm is in their genes. Like, Patrick was a pitcher himself, and you see his unorthodox mechanics on the football field at work, and I mean, come on now. How many Super Bowls does he have? How many MVPs? How many Super Bowl MVPs? He's undoubtedly the one.
Great answer. Patrick Mahomes the second.
I think it's got to be Wardell Stephen Curry. I mean, Del Curry, his father was a great shooter, but he doesn't even come close to what Steph can do on a basketball court. 4 championships. He got his coveted finals MVP. He won 3 before, obviously, the last one against the Celtics. He went to 5 finals in 8 years, which is just unprecedented. Clearly the best son of a former athlete ever. I think it's got to be Steph Curry.
I'm just putting this together now, but is his name Wardell because his dad's name is Dell? Like, is that?
I believe so.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you the lore behind Steph Curry's name.
Because I just thought of it now, because I forgot his name was Wardell. Anyway, TJ?
All right, I'm doing a different sport. I'm going Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I think he's a big player on the Blue Jays, third baseman. He's done well. First of all, his father was a great player. He won a World Series with the Angels, almost won a World Series with the Rangers. That was tough year against the Giants. But Vladimir Guerrero Jr., I think he had two consecutive 40 home run years. He's an all-star. He's been great for the Blue Jays. They're eventually going to build up a championship team, and I think he's going to be one of the top players on that team. He's going to be the number 3 hitter, so I'm going Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Great answer. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is killing it in the MLB. I'm going to hide who gets the points until the very end for the rapid-fire round, but all good answers across the board. Moving on to question 2. During the Women's March Madness tournament, both LSU and Miami had their phones blowing up with FaceTime calls from none other than Lil Wayne, Louisiana native and avid women's basketball fan. Getting a phone call from Weezy F Baby would certainly get me pumped up after a win. But it got me thinking, contestants, if you could receive a call from anybody after a big win to congratulate you, who would you want that call to be from?
Oh, man, there's so many answers. That's impossible.
Anything
like millions of people in the world.
Any of those billions of people. 8 billion of them.
I'll go wholesome, okay? If I win a championship or a huge game, the only person I want to talk to is the only people I would want to talk to would be my mom and my dad. You know, huge game, you gotta go with the parents there. You know, I understand it'd be cool to get a call from any celebrity you want, but I mean, it's the parents. It's a huge game. You gotta go with them.
Mama Goosman, you see how your son loves you? Wow. Mama's boy.
I love that answer. Very wholesome, genuine vibes. I get it. But, I'm going to talk to my family later on. But if, I'm going to go with someone I don't talk to every day. I want Matthew McConaughey on the line to talk to me.
Okay.
Because I want him to get my head right. I want him and I want McGregor behind him because I want 2 different auras. I want McConaughey, like, wholesome. His quote is, be less impressed and be more involved. After a big dub, I don't want to just sit on it. I want to keep going. I want to cement my legacy as the greatest ever. I want him to get in my head like, hey, you won this, but you're going to win more. Keep at it. And then McGregor, double champ, I do what I want. So there you go. Yeah.
I love those quotes. The duality of man right there, McConaughey and McGregor.
All right. I'm going to go with no other than Mike Tyson. I think that would be one of the best FaceTimes, especially after a win. Just hearing him say his name. I can't do his impersonation of Mike Tyson, but basically that. If you get that after a win, I mean, I would be elated. That would be hilarious.
That would be awesome. Hearing Mike Tyson after a win is crazy. All right. Last question. Are y'all ready? This one is for all the marbles. This weekend at Dell Match Play here in Austin, our very own Ryan Swankowski, shout out Ryan, got Bijan Robinson to produce a little bit of content for TSTV. Thanks for that, by the way. After this was posted, there were calls on Twitter for Bijan to come on College Crossfire. One of the calls came from one of our own panelists. By the way, I'm trying to get him on, guys. It's very hard to get to his representation. However, it begs the question, contestants, which Texas athlete do you think would make the best Crossfire panelist?
Do they have to be current?
No, anyone.
I'm going to go with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's always fun with interviews. I remember, like, short time in my childhood when Mark Cuban called out the Thunder and said the Thunder were only a one superstar team. Russell Westbrook was part of that team, and they asked Russell Westbrook. Durant was right next to him, and he stops him. And he goes, "Look, he's an idiot. He's an idiot." And I think that's hilarious. I think he's always a great personality with interviews. All right, so I'm going Kevin Durant.
I think that Kevin Durant would be great at dismantling other contestants' takes, I think. That "he's an idiot" quote could apply so many ways.
That is a hard one to top because I was also going to go KD. As much as I want to go with someone like Bijan, he says all the right things. He's just the perfect role model. So it could, be a little more vanilla. But KD, I'm going to go with him for other reasons. Like, he literally comes on podcasts all the time. And whether it's KD or Kyrie, we're Mavs fans. Our season has played out, unfortunately. But KD or Kyrie, they're always going to say something bizarre, off the rails. And that's part of their greatness, their aura. I mean, KD, we could talk about business. We could talk about the behind the scenes of the NBA player. It could be anything, and he would make it very electric. And, of course, I'd, egg him on with some stuff to make him talk a lot of mess to other people in that realm of sport.
KD would be a fantastic, I would say this word, but we're on air, so I'm going to say mess talker, fantastic mess talker. Justin, can you bring it home?
Yeah, I think I got to go with Brock Cunningham. I think he'd be so much fun to have on TSTV, especially Crossfire. I know he'd be saying something bizarre, getting everybody in the audience to boo, cheer, whatever. I think Brock Cunningham would be a ton of fun to have on TSTV. Brock, if you're hearing this, we know you're coming back for a 6th year. Come on College Crossfire. I think it'd be a great time, Show some love to some student media, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, Brock Cunningham, I think he'd be great.
Yeah, Brock, come down here. I know that we've slandered you a lot, over this past semester and other semesters on College Crossfire, but it's nothing personal, truly just business. Come on here and defend yourself, do what you like. All right. Contestants, it was a great way to close out the show, but as you all know, there can only be one winner. So if I can get a little drum roll, the winner of this week's College Crossfire is TJ Krilowicz. Congratulations. First time contestant, first time win. Michael, do we have time for
1-0.
Yeah, take it away.
Bet. All right, 1-0 on Crossfire. Thank you, Mama. We made it. All right, I just won on Crossfire. All right, I'm guessing Tommy's gonna be back for next week, right? All right, that's gonna be a tough one, but I'll try to win. I'll go 2-0. Win streak coming up. All right.
Absolutely. Even with the FAU prediction, he defied the odds and still came out on top. Hopefully, FAU can do the same. Hopefully. All right, congratulations again to our winner, TJ. Huge thanks to both Alec and Justin as well for coming on. Y'all were awesome. All right, that'll do it for us here at the TSTV studios. Before you go, be sure to come back Friday mornings for the 1-0 Sports Show and Monday nights for College Press Box. And, of course, don't worry, if you're sick of seeing me, Tommy will be back right here taking his rightful seat in the host chair next week.
Go Jordan!
Thank you. Got a little bit of cheers. All right, thank you to our live studio audience for coming out and being great as usual tonight. And for our contestants, everyone in Master Control, our executive producer, Jordan Geelhoed. Oh, wait, that's me. Oops, I made a mistake. Thank you to Samantha Pearl for taking over directing duties and letting me do this, and all the other great folks at TSTV. My name is Jordan Geelhoed saying good night, and we'll see you next time.